The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Start of a new way. Don't you know?
Good morning. The founder of the Bahamas Crisis Center says the sex offenders registry should not be public. As the Crisis Center continues to seek child sexual abuse referrals. And the Social Services Minister says there's been an increase in homelessness. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us also this morning. It's a special Wednesday edition of our HR series. We're going to be talking with Ahmad Rashad Thompson about performance management. He'll explain what that means. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Attorney General Wayne Monroe challenging the FNM to take its concerns over the cabinet appointments of Sebastian and Leslie Miller-Bryce to court. Both have ties to the gaming industry. His comments coming after FNM Senator Orinthia Komalafe yesterday raised concern once again over the Davis administration's failure to address concerns over its appointment of individuals with ties to the gaming industry as cabinet ministers. Monroe saying, quote, the senator suggests that the government of which 3 senators here are a part of have breached the rule of law, which is a very serious allegation. The FNM threatened to file an action in the court, and that is where the rule of law plays out. If you have a view, you test it in front of the courts. The Gaming Act bars cabinet ministers or their family members from holding gaming licenses or significant financial interest in the holder of such a license. Despite this, Sebastian, an Island Luck co-founder, was appointed Minister of Innovation and National Development, a newly created ministry, while Miller-Bryce, whose husband co-founded Assure Win, was appointed Minister of Culture, Arts and Heritage. There's been no amendment to the Gaming Act, and Prime Minister Philip Davis previously said that he had no intention of bringing amendments to allow Bastien and Miller-Bryce to sit in his cabinet. Responding to questions from reporters on the issue, Bastien and Miller-Bryce both have said they took the required steps to allow them to sit in the cabinet. FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands hitting back at Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell's assertions that the FNM is damaging the country's reputation over the debacle surrounding convicted drug trafficker Jonathan Gardner. Sands saying that Mitchell is, quote, sounding reckless and erratic and irresponsible. He is doing damage to our reputation and relationship with the U.S. by calling serious allegations frivolous gossip. In a voice note to supporters on Monday, Mitchell said the FNM is more interested in scoring political points over the Election Day plane crash. Gardner survived that crash on Election Day, May 12th, along with 10 others. After a harrowing rescue by the U.S. Coast Guard, Gardner was arrested on new drug charges. He was also found with $30,000 in a package with a politician's name written on it. The other passengers were returned to the Bahamas. A man accused of vehicular manslaughter acquitted of a fatal collision that caused the death of a policeman. The 8-member jury found Raymond Forbes not guilty in a majority of 1. Prosecutors alleged that Forbes was clearly responsible for the January 31st, 2024 traffic accident that claimed the life of Inspector Thomas McIntosh. According to the prosecution's case, McIntosh stopped a dump truck on Mila Butler Highway in New Providence because it was carrying an unsafe load. While overtaking the stopped truck, Forbes struck McIntosh, causing him to become brain dead. He was eventually disconnected from life support and his organs donated. Forbes pleaded not guilty to the charge at his trial before Justice Renee McKay and did not take the witness stand. Retired Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, the former officer in charge of the traffic division, testified on his behalf. According to Lockhart, police did not have the authority to stop vehicles for carrying unsafe loads, and according to Lockhart, McIntosh created the situation that resulted in his demise. Minister of Social Services Barbara Cartwright highlighting increased homelessness as one of the most urgent issues to tackle within her ministry. She was speaking during the budget debate in the Senate, saying that shelter is now one of the clearest and most urgent needs facing the ministry, and that providing access to affordable, safe, and secure shelters is one important way to lift people out of poverty. The high cost of living and lack of affordable housing in the country has been a prominent concern for many years now. The Davis administration has taken steps to address the issues through targeted tax reductions and affordable housing projects, but there appears to be a worsening pattern of daily life becoming unaffordable for many Bahamians. Cartwright says it's one of many priorities for her as she takes on the new role. Bahamas Crisis Center founder Sandra Dean Patterson says that the center, which staunchly advocated for the establishment of a sex offenders registry, is not in favor of the register becoming public due to concerns regarding vigilantism. Dean Patterson saying yesterday that the center advocated for the registry because of alarming rates for Bahamian children being abused, violated, and exploited, and that officials thought it was important for the government to adequately address the situation. She said that while she understands concerns for the register to become public, the center's position is that unlike larger countries that are able to safely and orderly facilitate sex registers, the Bahamas is at a disadvantage. Dean Patterson also saying that the center continues to see a high number of referrals for children who are victims of sexual abuse from police and other officials. Referrals from police and other officials after reporting an uptick in referrals that left the crisis center alarmed in February. The center saw 26 referrals just 2 months into the year. She says that though she could not provide new numbers, the situation remains grave as referrals have not decreased. Overseas, the head of the UN's nuclear agency signaling today that Iranian nuclear enrichment sites would be visited by his inspectors, a key component in the interim deal between the United States and Iran to reach an end to the war. The comment by International Atomic Energy Agency head Rafael Mariano Grossi was the firmest yet from the United Nations agency, which is viewed as key in determining the status of Iran's nuclear stockpile. Since Israel launched a 12-day war on Iran in 2025, the IAEA has been blocked by Tehran from visiting enrichment sites where the Islamic Republic is believed to store enough highly enriched uranium to potentially build as many as 10 nuclear weapons, should it choose to rush for the bomb. Iran has long maintained that its program is peaceful, though it is the only country in the world to have uranium enriched up to 60% purity without a weapons program. The U.S. and Iran offered contradictory remarks Tuesday about whether those sites would be inspected. Grossi acknowledged the contradictions, calling it a war of words at the moment. Ukrainian forces striking a major natural gas processing plant and 2 key satellite communication centers in their latest nighttime attack on Russia. According to Ukraine's general staff, the operation was part of the country's aerial campaign targeting energy facilities and military industries that has intensified as Kyiv builds bigger and better long-range weapons to defeat Russia's all-out invasion, now in its 5th year. The overnight attack hit the Orenburg processing plant, which is part of a complex that also houses the only plant in Russia. The attack set the complex on fire. Orenburg is about 750 miles behind the front line that snakes along eastern and southern Ukraine. The plant is one of the largest gas plants in the world. It produces helium used in liquid fuel rocket engines and guidance systems, and component in producing solid rocket fuel and gunpowder. It's not possible to independently verify these claims from the General Staff's report, and Russian officials made no immediate comment. People in large parts of the UK are being warned that high temperatures will present a risk of life today as a heat dome over Western Europe brings extreme conditions to the continent. The red heat health alert for much of central and southern England, as well as Wales, is only the second such warning ever issued by UK authorities. The first was in July 2022, when temperatures exceeded 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 Celsius. Authorities in France, Italy, and Spain have also issued warnings about the risks of the extreme heat for tens of millions of people. The UK is braced for the highest ever June temperatures, with the Met Office forecasting a high of 38 degrees Celsius in southern England. Temperatures reached 34 Celsius Tuesday. Some schools in England are closed due to the heat, and many train services have been canceled, with passengers urged to avoid non-essential travel in areas covered by the red warning.
This is Sports Update.
In sports, it's been an eventful last week in baseball for Bahamian professional player Jazz Rattler Jazz Chisholm Jr., from fouling a pitch off the family jewels to hitting a home run the following day and sucking on a blow pop during the game. The star second baseman for the New York Yankees has garnered his share of headlines around Major League Baseball. Tuesday, Chisholm was back in a positive spotlight, knocking out his 12th home run of the season to help the Yankees turn back the Detroit Tigers 4-3 in Detroit. After scoring their first run of the game to pull the Yankees to within 2-1 in the top of the 4th inning, Chisholm hit a go-ahead 2-run shot in the top of the 6th to give the Yankees their first lead of the game. They went on to win 4-3. Bahamian sailor Donnie Martinborough proving that experience is one of the greatest teachers of all as he prevailed at the 2026 Bahamas International Sunfish Class Association National Championships at Montague Foreshore over the weekend. The 3-time Sunfish World Champion spent some time away from the national sport, but having 5 decades of sailing experience under his belt was just what he needed to win his 15th National Sunfish title. Martinborough, who recently turned 67, made his presence felt against younger sailors. Despite competing in the Grandmasters age group, that's 60 to 69, he won with a net total of 15 to once again hoist the national crown. You can read his comments in today's Guardian Sports section. The NBA draft last night, AJ Dibansta is on his way to Washington and ready to start working there. That's not until Wednesday. Tuesday was a night for the NBA's number 1 draft pick to party. and there were a record number of one-and-done college stars who followed him, a trio of national champions from Michigan and fans of both New York teams on what sounded like an even more festive NBA draft than usual. The Wizards started selecting a forward who led the nation in scoring in his one season at BYU, averaging 25.5 points, highlighted by a 43-point effort that broke BYU's freshman scoring record and was the first of a record-tying 8 straight calls taken to begin the draft. That matched the record set last year, whereas Johnson Jr. at number 9 was the first non-freshman. And eager to lessen the chaos of the transfer portal era and court fights with players trying to extend their careers, the NCAA approving a new eligibility model for Division I athletes that will allow 5 seasons of competition over a 5-year period that begins with their full-time enrollment or the academic year following their 19th birthday, whichever occurs first. The Division I cabinet unanimously approved the change from the long-standing tenet of college sports that gave athletes 5 years to complete 4 seasons of competition with their eligibility clock starting at the time of enrollment, regardless of age. The move will all but eliminate waivers or redshirt years for extended eligibility except for religious missions, maternity leave, or active duty military service. No longer will extensions be considered for athletes who are injured. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a heat advisory in effect for the northern and portions of the northwest Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, Bimini, Abaco, and the Berry Islands. Everyone's being advised to limit outdoor activities, especially strenuous outdoor activities, remain hydrated, and seek shaded areas during peak heat hours. Lingering moisture and persistent southerly winds across the southernmost islands will continue to support an elevated heat risk. And although moisture remains abundant across the northern islands, a dense plume of Saharan dust expected to suppress the development of other showers and thunderstorms, especially during the hottest part of the day. High pressure will remain relatively stable and will keep relatively stable conditions across most of the country through tonight. There is a slight to moderate risk of rip currents for Atlantic and east to southeastern coastlines, especially in the southeast Bahamas, and the UV index again will be in the very high to extreme range. So your forecast for today, most areas looking at mostly sunny conditions, turning mostly fair tonight. For the extreme northern islands, looking at a mix of sun and clouds, turning mostly fair tonight. A 10 to 30% chance of showers for the extreme northern islands, 10 to 20% chance for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, only about a 10% chance for the southern half of the country. Winds south-southeast to south-southwest at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times for the extreme northernmost islands. East to southeast at 10 to 15 knots for the central islands. East-southeast to south-southeast at 10 to 15 knots for the northwest Bahamas. And easterly at 15 to 20 knots for the southeastern islands. High temperatures today, a lot hotter for the extreme northern islands. Highs getting up to as high as 95 Fahrenheit, 35 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's 110 Fahrenheit, 43 Celsius. The rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, looking at highs around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index again making you feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. And the southern half of the country looking at highs around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Heat index, again, in the triple digits, making it feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius for most areas, but as warm as 82 for the northernmost islands, 28 Celsius. Wow. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. This weather check, brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that
It is time for a break. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Did you find everything okay today?
Yes, I did. Do you take Google Pay?
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you.
See you again soon.
Tap into convenience. Have you added your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card, Visa debit card, or MasterCard credit cards to your Google Wallet yet? You can simply tap, pay, and go by using Google Pay from your phone. It's more convenience on the go. Tap into convenience now with CIBC Caribbean and Google Pay.
Tired of putting life on hold every time the power goes out? Get a Kohler generator from Lightbore Marine and enjoy life without interruption. We stock generators for your home, business, or job site. Need a new generator for your boat? Take command with Kohler's extensive range of marine generators. With 40 years experience, Lightbore Marine has you covered with parts, service, and the best manufacturer's warranty in the industry. See how a Kohler generator can enhance the quality of your life and the success of your business at Lightbore Marine, 63 East Bay Street. Visit us at lightboremarine.com.
Are you a tourism business owner or ready to become one? At the Tourism Development Corporation, we work with tourism entrepreneurs at every stage, turning ideas into thriving businesses and helping existing ones grow. From business development support and funding opportunities to targeted initiatives and strategic partnerships, we're here to help you take that next step. Build your future in tourism with the Tourism Development Corporation. Visit tdcbahamas.com to learn more.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
and cash in with Everybody Wins Live. For the entire month of June, every purchase made between 6 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. at participating stores gives you a chance to win exciting prizes, surprise rewards, and qualify for our early bird morning spend. Cash, play big, and have a shot to win even bigger in the month of June. More hours, more fun, and more opportunities to win. Only at Everybody Wins Live, where the early bird always wins. Terms and conditions apply. Remember to game responsibly.
The world's fastest athletes are Barbados. The excitement of the Barbados Grand Prix returns, where elite athletes don't just compete for medals. They battle for team glory in the Caribbean's most electrifying, one-of-a-kind track and field spectacle. Saturday, July 4th, the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. That's where you need to be. Gates open at 3:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Grab them via ticketlinks.com and at select outlets island-wide. Saturday, July 4th, the Barbados Grand Prix returns. Be there.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also in your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards.
Once again. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I mean, once again, as in every Wednesday.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Correct.
You mean, or me?
No.
Because I said hello earlier.
No. Me so once again.
I'm
here once again. Right. Yes. Good morning.
As usual.
Yes.
Good to see you on this. Is it the final Wednesday?
It is the final.
Wow. How is this possible? Final Wednesday of June 2026. My goodness gracious. Wow. Well, we have quite a bit to talk about, and a special edition of our HR series, usually every third Friday each month, where we're doing it today. Ahmad Rashad Thompson is going to be with us. We're going to be talking about performance management that's coming in business. What's the do's, the don'ts when it comes to that in your organization. So that's ahead. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a lot to talk about. We see that BPL's been busy again with outages for a number of areas from last night. And is it still happening? I'm not sure, but it's been quite an interesting period. It's officially summer now, but they were saying they were ready for summer a couple weeks ago. Maybe they went officially summer, although we are here and we're having outages already, so they're not ready.
I mean, how many times have we heard that they're
every year,
summer?
And every year we are disappointed. Well, I don't say I'm disappointed because I'm used to it now, so I'm just disappointed they keep saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop. You're never going to be ready. It appears when you have proven yourself to be ready, like 2 years went by and like, oh wow, look, they were ready. Then we will say, yeah, okay, we believe you. But otherwise, just shut up. Just shut up. But yeah. All right, so interesting things in the papers. The big headline, the Nassau Guardian, homelessness is on the rise, as according to the Social Services Minister. We're going to get to that in a bit. A lot of news from the Crisis Center. They're saying quite a few interesting things. I want to delve deeper into this one about the Sex Offenders Registry. And I think some will say a surprising comment from the founder of the Crisis Center that it should not be public. And noting that child sexual abuse referrals continue to rise. So we'll get to all of that in a bit. But there is a court story that when our Artesia Davis writing about this, man acquitted of crash that killed police inspector. So a man accused of vehicular manslaughter was yesterday acquitted of a fatal collision that caused the death of a policeman. The 8-member jury found Raymond Forbes not guilty in a majority decision 8-1. Prosecutors alleged that Forbes was criminally responsible for the January 31st, 2024 traffic accident that claimed the life of Inspector Thomas McIntosh. According to the prosecution's case, McIntosh stopped a dump truck on the Milo Butler Highway because it was carrying an unsafe load. Now, while overtaking the stopped truck, Forbes struck McIntosh, causing him to become brain dead. He was eventually disconnected from life support, and his organs were donated. Forbes pleaded not guilty to the charge at his trial before Justice Renee McKay and did not take the witness stand. Retired Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, the former officer in charge of the traffic division, testified on his behalf. According to Lockhart, police did not have the authority to stop vehicles from carrying unsafe loads. What now?
They don't?
What the heck? And according to Lockhart, McIntosh created the situation that resulted in his demise. Where do we live? What is this place? What's going on?
Huh?
Okay, so if it were a legal stop, then what? What would? That's the only thing there? I mean, I don't know what's in the mind of the jury, but so what? What if the person had done a traffic violation? Would it have been, oh, well, now it's wrong to kill the officer. But because he didn't have the right to stop him,
I don't know.
Somebody make it make sense. I mean, it wasn't intentional. Of course, it's an accident, and perhaps, it's an accident. But that part there is very disturbing. And so, and nothing's been done about it. It's been a few years. I mean.
Yeah. 24?
Yeah. So when you see people with the trucks and they have like a big giant piece of pipe hanging 10 feet off the vehicle.
You shouldn't stop it.
Nobody can tell them anything?
You can't
Well, the
stop
police
it.
can't.
Cannot stop it.
Because they almost drove that thing in through my windshield. That is not a danger. I don't understand.
Garbage falling off the back onto people's cars.
Well, the police can't do anything about it. So who's supposed to do it?
Interesting.
Do they have environmental cops?
I don't know.
Do we have a safety force? You're just on your own. Good luck to you.
Retired chief.
I'm very confused. What's...
Police did not. Police did not, or they do not?
Did not, do not, will not, have not?
At the time, did they not?
It hasn't happened. We would have heard about that.
I saw an officer one time flash a truck and said, that thing needs to be covered up, but he didn't stop him. He just told him that and let him go on his way.
Mm-hmm. Did the driver tell him CYC or anything like that?
No. But they often, I don't know.
And again, so since then, when we realize nothing's been done. But I'm asking, if it were a legal stop, then would it have changed anything?
Well, you have to ask the jury.
Huh.
They were the ones who were convinced by this, I guess.
Let's hear from you. 32232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-47. So many levels.
Yeah, I agree.
So this further proves the points, the views that anything goes, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, just do it. Welcome to the Bahamas.
I see someone saying that stopping them could cause more of a hazard than them driving, but I don't see how that's possible.
That's silly.
Because if bumping around and the air blowing through it, blowing all kinds of trash off.
You say that until it crushes your car and your kids are killed.
Until
so stop.
a piece of log comes through your windshield.
Which happens all the time. Y'all don't watch Final Destination?
Say Final Destination.
Oh, boy.
But the covering is required, obviously. I mean,
is what?
Required.
What do you mean by that?
It is required.
By what?
By law. Which is why the officer I saw was telling that truck, you need to have this covered, and it was piled up to the top.
You sure it's required?
It is required.
I've taken many pictures of late.
It is required. That doesn't mean people.
Well, lots of things are required.
Well, clearly,
you're required to have a fence.
If it's
for
required,
your dogs.
but you cannot be stopped for it, why do it if you don't have it, right?
Well, the environmental people have to catch you.
Is it? Who and what gives them the right to stop a vehicle? Nothing, right? So what difference does it make?
But y'all like to watch the House and the Senate, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what you get out of it. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there?
Hello?
Good morning.
Morning, Dwight. How are you doing, sir?
I'm stressed out.
Yeah, and I always applaud you on helping us as a nation digest some of this stuff, but this one a little heavy this morning too, Dwight. This is another one of those heavy ones that you bring to us first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
To help us with this one, Dwight, I'd really, really love for, like to suggest or recommend that someone from the Road Traffic Department, we have the officer in charge, I believe, Ms. Porter, to explain to us what are the laws as it pertains to unsafe passage or vehicles that we see on the road, because to hear in a matter such as this where a police officer lost his life, seemingly in the line of duty, and then for it to be said that he did not have the right to stop that truck or that vehicle because it appeared to be unsafe. Is remember that saying, anything buck up goes?
Yeah, that's about us.
Here we had an officer lost his life. I'll show you an example. About 2 mornings ago, I was traveling behind a crane truck on Market Street. There are a lot of wires crossing Market Street, and there's a police vehicle driving behind this crane truck, and I'm thinking he's there for safety reasons. Lo and behold, I'm saying this truck is going to interfere with these wires. It's clear what's going on. Truck pulls to the light, yucks the wire down off about 2 or 3 businesses in the middle of the day. We see the government attempting to put what they call C-class licenses for big vehicles and stuff. Someone needs to help clarify what the laws are pertaining to what's going on, because like you say, Dwight, are we running a banana republic or are we a place of laws? When you could see a police officer lose his life trying to bring safety to the roads that we traverse on every day, when we see these things happening and wonder. I was trying to figure, why didn't the police stop this crane truck before he tear the wire down, realizing the hazard? Clearly now I learned you don't have a right to.
Well, I don't know about that one, right? Is this Lockhart saying unsafe loads? That one, that might be. But often, I know my colleague Aaron talks about it a lot, that the police just drive by scenes, just right things are happening, and especially when it's related to traffic, they don't seem to be concerned It's very, very weird. Very weird.
Like you say, Dwight, welcome to the Bahamas.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you, buddy.
it. Yeah. And again, nothing's been done since then. Police should have a right, right? Do we not agree? The police should have a right to stop this?
Absolutely.
I mean, who more than anybody? And maybe that's why we see it so frequently on the streets.
I'm very confused.
Lockhart is a good friend of the show. I'm going to see. I know he's no longer with the force, but if we can't get somebody from the force on, maybe we can talk to him. Caller, you're on the show. You're on the air. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, you sure you reading that right, man? Because just a little on to something. For a person who is dealing with trucking in this country for the last 35 to 40 years, who started off with flatbed truck in the 80s, in the 90s, with dump truck, will the government owe me some money then, Dwight? Because one time ago, if you don't have a canvas, if you can't fill sand, rock, cracker dust, if you don't have a canvas on your truck, we was getting tickets. I have a lot of tickets I get for unsecured load.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to move garbage with my truck, flatbed truck, and anyone who listens to me now who know Muff Roll, they know I associated with trucking. They saying, yes, Muff was driving truck. And when I had my flatbed truck toting garbage, if a paper fly off the truck, a speed cop used to put and they get no canvas on your truck, you get right up $80 ticket for unsecured load.
And in order to get that, they had to pull you over, right?
Yes, sir.
Something's
Yes,
wrong.
Sir. When Hot Mix hauling their rock, they used to have their rock for pave the road, these little black rock. On the airport road, they used to be flying off your truck and then breaking people's windshield and things because they some hard rock. They break windshield. If we ain't had no canvas going on there, all these getting booked. You will never see trucks getting pulled over on the airport road for no canvas. Like you said, you got to bring Lockhart. I know David Lockhart very well, too. Man, you got to bring to explain that one. Well, the government got some money for me then. Then I pay for plenty unsecured load.
Well, good luck with that. But, somebody's got to explain. Thank you so much. I don't understand it. I'm very confused.
I'm very confused, too.
Maybe did he stop on the lane? Because there's no shoulder on that highway. So blocking up the lane, maybe because of that? Could that be it? And then why would you stop somebody on a lane, on a two-way highway, well, two-way each direction, when there is no shoulder, which creates a hazard?
Right.
Perhaps? Is that what it is? I don't know. Caller, what say you? Hi, good morning. Good morning. You're live on the air. Are you there? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Caller, you're live on the air.
Hey, morning, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Listen, I think it is quite strange that is not a law, and if it isn't, I think it's a gross oversight and injustice to the driving public. But I think we need to do a deeper dive into that. And he may have gotten off on some technicality. That can't be so in this age, in this time that we live in, that a police officer cannot stop any vehicle for what he deems to be a hazard to the general driving public. That don't make sense. As you say, Dwight, that does not make any sense. So there has to be some technical something that he got off on where it was obviously, the ruling was obviously upheld by the judge and was given to the jury to consider. So it has to be something that we don't know. It has to be something that we don't know. It can't be that officer, God bless his soul, did not have the authority to stop what he deemed to be a hazard. That don't make sense. It does not make sense.
Yeah, I agree. Something is very, very wrong.
Yeah, there has to be something that we do not know as the public, and I gather that whomever they probably digging in their law books now, trying to figure out. Well, yeah, this is not a law. Whomever would come in authority to say, hey, yeah, man, that's a law. I'm sure they're digging in their law books to see. Well, how come this isn't a law?
Well,
so there has to be some authority.
If the prosecutors let that go unchallenged, well, I don't understand, right? They should know, right?
I don't think it went unchallenged. I think it's just some technicality, or I mean, if it isn't in the law, that's a travesty of justice. Like I say, against all of us.
Yeah.
The driving public.
Well, it wasn't unanimous. It was 8-1, but the majority rules. You know, as it goes.
Terrible.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
All right.
Let's read some of your messages here. This person says here, I'm listening to you read the story of the officer being killed, and that is yet another example of why the Bahamas is not a real place. Let's all continue to be safe. I refuse to believe it.
Hold on.
Found something?
No,
Okay.
This is interesting.
I am now of the belief that our police force consists of a majority of, oh boy, that's not nice. I don't know. You can't stop a vehicle that's hazardous? Did he really say that? According to the article, he says police do not have the authority to stop vehicles for carrying unsafe loads. That just can't be right. And according to Lockhart, McIntosh created the situation that resulted in his demise.
Created it. Interesting.
So, if you have 15 people in your Nissan Note, the police can't do anything about that? That's not true.
Not if
that is not true. They can. I believe there's a law that says you can only have as many people as there are seatbelts in the vehicle, right? I think we did pass that when we passed the seatbelt law, if I'm right. So, what are we talking? Again, this is what lawmakers are supposed to be dealing with. What do they talk about? It was an accident. I'm sure it was not his intention, but why would you try to stop a dump truck speeding on a highway? Do you know how hard it is to stop going at full speed? Texter, who are you? Are you one of these menacing Mack truck drivers?
They're making up things.
Stop your foolishness. Why are you going at full speed in a Mack truck on these narrow streets on this island? Do you know how hard it is to stop going full speed? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, okay, but he was stopped.
Good morning, Dwight. It is an offense, and the police have the authority to stop vehicles for unsafe loads. Carrying this Regulation 24(1)T, carrying or permitting to be carried on a motor vehicle insecurely fastened loads. The prescribed fixed penalty is $75.
It must be where you stopped him.
It's probably where he stopped him. You need to pull over, but you can't pull over on Mile Butler Highway.
Yeah. Literally, you can't.
You cannot.
There is no pullover.
So you're going to block up a whole lane. And that means, and it's a big truck, which means that McIntosh probably was in the other lane.
No, he had to go around the truck. So
Right.
He was behind the truck, in whatever lane he stopped in.
So, I mean, if he's probably on the side of the truck or something, and if he's overtaking him, is in...
But how close was he to the truck, or how far away from the truck was the officer?
He's going to take up most of the lane.
I'm just saying.
So if it's two lanes, McIntosh probably was.
But he wasn't
partially
even
in the other lane.
You're right. He wasn't even in the right lane. He wasn't. He was moving toward the lane. Maybe. I don't know.
So maybe that's what he means. I don't know, but it's very difficult to stop somebody on Mile Butler Highway. You're going to be looking at trouble. Other people saying, yeah, Lockhart can't be right on this. But why would the prosecution not challenge this? We don't know if it did or if they did or they didn't, but it's just bizarre. And this probably did influence the jury. Now, again, I know Forbes did not mean to do this, I'm sure, but this is a very, very sad situation. What if the officer put himself in a position to be hit and didn't follow police protocols? This is what we're saying, perhaps. Yeah, probably in an awkward place. Let's take some more calls, and then we want to get to some other issues. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Yes. This story is really sad. The head of police officer lost his life in this type of situation, and then you can turn around and say, oh, he didn't have the right to stop them, but isn't that a routine traffic stop? Doesn't the officer have the right to stop anyone on the road based on suspicion?
You would think. You would think.
This is why our country in the state and there's too much lawlessness and too much confusion, and then everything is being said. Now, if I was a police officer and I heard that, how do you think I would feel now? Just on the job, when someone is written up falsely, we tend to retreat and be like, you know what, I ain't doing nothing no more.
Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from.
I think it's to make a statement and clarify stuff about the things that they do.
Don't hold your breath, but I agree with you. I agree with you entirely.
Yeah.
They are, something is off with them. But thank you, caller. Appreciate it. They've got to say something. They need to call a press conference immediately.
I agree.
This texter says, Regulation 16, construction and loading requirements states, no person can treat any motor truck unless such truck is so constructed and, if loaded, is so loaded as to prevent any of its load from dropping, shifting, leaking, or otherwise escaping therefrom.
So constructed by whom? Because the things that these people is construct to make loads bigger than the truck is crazy.
Okay, but that doesn't. You shouldn't do it. But does that mean that you can be pulled over? Like if you're found, I don't want to get into this. It's gonna give me a headache. But wow. Let's see if we can get Lockhart to call in. I wonder if he'll do that. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Dwight, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
And to your in-studio guest.
Good morning.
I think what is happening in this discussion this morning is, from reading the article itself, it seems we are crossing over two sides of the argument. There is a term in law that is called contributory negligence. And that means that I could be participating or my actions could have led to my own demise, if I may try to put it in the context of this particular argument that we're having this morning. It appears, I'm no lawyer, but it appears from reading the article without having the opportunity to do a deep dive into it, it appears that indirect argument or direct argument here might be that contributory negligence might be inferred or might be one of the main arguments here. I don't think it has a whole lot to do with any significant weaknesses in the law as it stands, but it might have to do with how the law was carried out in terms of this particular argument. That's what I'm beginning to see in it, until perhaps some person who has a broader opportunity to expand on the real legal argument, make it a bit clearer for laypersons like us. But I think that might be a part of the legal reasoning here.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. One more call. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And Chester.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight, sorry to hear about the officer just hearing about this man. It's sad, it's tragic. But one thing is a fact is driving your vehicle, right? Because I got booked driving a pickup truck with debris on it, right? Going to the dump, right? I got a ticket for that. And I saw over the years, I saw many, just like Mustard, I saw many trucks over the years being pulled over with debris and stuff on their trucks, and they being ticketed, right? So that right there is definitely something is up for that, because for years people were being ticketed by police officers. I'm doing their job, right? So if there's a legal vehicle on the road, right, and something like that happens, right, in the course of the police doing his job, I don't think because the truck ain't supposed to be on the road, and maybe if it wasn't, the police would have been living, right? Because it's an illegal vehicle at the time, right, and it's breaking the law. right? But I believe it's simply because there's a liability can come in place, and that's when things just go across the next side of the highway because they thinking money now, not safety or life. That going out of the box. But that always been the case. I'm Dwight and Chester. You guys have a nice day.
Okay, all right. This texter says here, there may be a distinction between what is being described as stopping someone and giving someone a ticket. That's what I'm thinking, too. Could it be that? And maybe the nature of the stop, but we need more information. We certainly do try some clarifications, some clarity on this. 'Cause something's not quite right here. Not quite right. Okay, so I'm confused. I'm getting some messages. Could what has been reported be incorrect? Hopefully, we'll get some information soon on what actually was said by former Chief Superintendent Lockhart. But this is a head scratcher.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a head scratcher. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, the Tribune has a story as well, and their angle is a little different. They've taken it from the angle that this is McIntosh was a hero and how many lives he saved with the organ donations, and that his death prompted an emotional hero's walk at Doctor's Hospital where grieving relatives, colleagues, and medical staff gathered as he was taken to the operating room for the organ procurement procedure. This is 2024. Wow. So, boy, this is sad all around. Sad all around. All right, this is taking on a different. We're getting some information, but we're gonna. After the news, we're gonna have an update on this. I think that there's been some inaccurate reporting here, but in any event,
or we don't have the full
acquittal.
picture of the scene.
There is an acquittal that is accurate. Let's take these calls before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
First, you would have to, let's eliminate the stop. Let's say the stop was legal. And even if the stop was legal, then we have to look at the strong defense that the driver, who was not a part of the stop, was he in a position to have a thinking distance and a braking distance? So you have to look at the compromising position that the officer might have put himself in by stopping the particular vehicle that he did on a bend, on a curve, on a blind spot, and thus he would have created some contributory negligence in the fact that, unfortunately, he didn't give the driver an opportunity, who was a licensed, insured, inspected motorist, to be on the road. And so you'll have to look at certain factors like the lack of causation that the prosecution would have to prove. And so, therefore, I could see it, unfortunately, coming up with that type of ruling, because the accident was the driver sober, driving within the speed limit, paying attention, but due to the circumstances, didn't have the prescribed time and justification to stop his vehicle, and thus causing the accident that would have killed the officer.
Well, the prosecution felt they had a case. This is 2 years later. It's just the jury didn't agree. The jury didn't agree. So
practicing those new laws of vehicular manslaughter, and so you have to look at the elements like mens rea, actus reus, the preponderance of both, and so while
sure, we got to go to the news. But again, they got to this point.
I don't think we
the
have
prosecution made their case.
We don't have the full
the
story.
The jury didn't agree.
We don't have the full story in the stop.
We got to go to the news. We'll be back. Stay with us.
we don't need to escalate.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:20, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got a heat advisory that's in effect for the northernmost Bahamas as well as portions of the northwest Bahamas. So this includes Grand Bahama, Bimini, Abaco, and the Berry Islands. Everyone's being advised to limit outdoor activity during peak sunshine and heat hours and seek shaded areas and remain hydrated. We've got the UV index again in the triple digits, the very high to extreme range. And it's all moisture and persistent southerly winds across the northernmost islands. That's going to continue to support an elevated heat risk. And although moisture remains abundant across the northern islands, a dense plume of Saharan dust is expected to suppress the development and coverage of showers and thunderstorms during the hottest part of the day. Elsewhere, high pressure will remain relatively stable and will maintain relatively stable conditions across much of the country through tonight. So the current weather conditions are expected to continue through Thursday, with moisture gradually lifting northward. Another plume of Saharan dust within a strengthening high-pressure system will move through heading into the weekend. By late Monday, the combined influence of an upper-level low and an approaching frontal boundary may increase cloud cover and enhance potential for showers and thunderstorms. Ahead of that, though, for today, the northernmost islands looking at a mix of sun and clouds, turning mostly fair tonight. The rest of the country looking at mostly sunny conditions, turning mostly fair tonight. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of showers for most areas, 10 to 30% chance for the northernmost islands. The northernmost islands will be the hottest today, highs getting up to as high as 95 Fahrenheit, 35 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel like it's 110 Fahrenheit, 43 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. The rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, looking at highs around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but that heat index still a factor, making it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. The central and southeast Bahamas looking at highs around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Heat index making it feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, turning mostly fair at night. A 20 to 30% chance of showers with thunderstorms for the northernmost islands. By Friday, partly sunny to sunny, turning mostly fair night for most areas, and mostly sunny with a mix of sun and clouds by the afternoon for Saturday, and pretty much the same for Sunday. Tropics are quiet as well. Tropical cyclone formation unexpected during the next 5 to 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're looking to paint, your local Sherwin-Williams has top quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. And time for a check of traffic brought to you by Anyway Insurance Agents and Brokers. So we've got a number of hotspots for you in your real-time traffic. We've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from north of Fire Trail straight up to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway. If you're heading northbound, you'll see that. And traffic backed up for you along Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway westbound as well. We're seeing some slow-moving traffic on Blue Hill Road, just north of Soldier Road, especially on the way to Independence Drive. And West Bay Street, we've got a couple of pockets. Just east of Arawak heading into downtown Nassau near Nassau Street, you'll see that slow-moving eastbound traffic. And in eastern New Providence, we've got Robbins Road, just west of Fox Hill, slow-moving westbound traffic up to Old Trail. And the Soldier Village Bernard Wolf intersection looking a bit busy for you right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning event traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Whether you prefer a face-to-face chat or handling things online, they've got you covered. Visit NUAinsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by your nearest branch today.
To bring some loving here today. Hey, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, all the Chester Robards. If you've been listening to us all morning, we've been talking about this case that is leaving us scratching our heads. Man acquitted, killed police inspector. And, you know, that's all well and good. The jury decided, but it's the comments that have been attributed to retired Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, the former officer in charge of the traffic division, that have us confused. And David Lockhart is on the line with us now. Good with us.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Okay.
So, Dwight, let me clarify. The posting that was posted, and I think On News first came out with it, posted incorrect information on what was said by me during the trial and the particulars of the crash itself. And they have defamed my character in doing that, and every news station that did it has defamed my character by posting incorrect information. It was never evidence that the police do not have the authority to stop vehicles. The police do have the authority to stop all offenders of the law. However, the police must remain within the confines of the law to enforce the law. So you cannot breach one law to enforce another law. There was a potential offense of an insecure load, but you have to pull that driver to a safe area to be able to either warn or report that driver. You cannot stop that driver in the middle of a highway that poses danger to other road users. It was a breach of the Road Traffic Act, it was a breach of the Road Traffic Regulation, and it was a breach of 4 standing orders that officers are governed by in order to carry out their duty.
Mm-hmm. And there's no shoulder on Milo Butler Highway, right? There's no place to pull over.
There are some areas that a vehicle will be able to pull over at. It will not be completely off the road to the left, but there are some areas, and there was one particular area not too far from the crash scene that a vehicle could have been pulled over. Mm-hmm. And the information that our news carried is incorrect. There's no dump truck involved. The the person was charged, he never came around nothing and hit anything. That was far from the truth, so all the information that was posted in the press is incorrect.
Wow. Okay. So again, the police do have the authority to stop vehicles carrying unsafe loads, and we've looked at the laws, a fine of at least $75. Is that correct?
That is correct. But in doing so, in stopping that person, you must stop them in an area that does not pose danger to other road users.
Right.
This incident happened on Milo Butler Highway, which is a highway with a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it happened on a curve. Wow. So those are the things that you have to consider when police officers are stopping vehicles.
And this would have been blocking up an entire lane.
This would have been blocking an entire lane on a major highway with the highest speed limit that we have in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, which is 45 miles an hour.
And on a curve.
And on a curve.
Wow.
So when police officers are enforcing the law, they must also uphold the law to enforce the law.
Yeah. So I know you're no longer with the force, but do you think the force needs to have to say something? Should there be a statement about this? So there.
I don't know that it's necessary. The police force did what they were supposed to do, and it was sent to a competent court that it was adjudicated, and members of the defendant's pair would have come to a decision, and that is the decision.
Yeah. Wow. It's a shame that you're no longer in the force, by the way, but we are happy to talk with you, and we've spoken recently, and we're going to have you on hopefully soon. But always great to talk with you, David Lockhart.
Not a problem, Dwight.
Thank you very much for clearing that up, because we knew that you wouldn't have said something like that.
I would never.
My God. And thank you for clearing that up for all of us who are so confused this morning. We appreciate you. Okay.
But again, our news and other news stations that have posted wrong information about my statements, they need to correct it, or I will file an action.
Okay. All right. We hope our editors are listening here as well. We'll send a message to them. Thank you so much, David Lockhart. I really appreciate you. Okay.
Yep.
So there we go. We were doubting that our country was sensible, but at least in this regard, we do have laws, and we do have sensible laws. You cannot carry an unsafe load, and the police can stop you. And if you've been stopped, the police had every right to do it, but they cannot cause other problems in stopping you to carry out.
We need to find the police report of that incident from 2024, because, again, the information that's often carried is because it was in the police report, which may have called the truck a dump truck.
Well.
Which may have said the car went around it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, papers and news sources don't make up just because it sounds like it's right.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, let's get your reaction to all that, folks. Boy, oh boy.
And I always... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let me give it the numbers. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now it makes more sense. We're the jury.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because, and we were theorizing that was the case as well. Yeah. I mean, you would have to stop somebody in the lane, which is very dangerous. It is not a straight thoroughfare at all. It is very, I don't know why it is. Why was it graded like that? And there are cliffs, there are all kinds of things. It's very dangerous. And you can see with the guardrails. I mean, have you seen the guardrails? They're always destroyed. Yeah. And wait, so a car went flying over here?
No, there's...
It's just wild. And
things happen around here a lot.
People are trying to drive between you on the lanes. It's just madness out there. And no one's changing their behavior.
No.
It's like, I can do better. Let me...
Because it's never going to be them.
Yeah.
Until it is.
Yeah. Sad all around, though. Yeah. We lost a good man. Another man, his life was hanging in the balance there. We can imagine what these 2 years have been like for him. Yeah. And it's just a terrible situation. But some lives were saved as a result, it seems, with the organ donation, if that is the only silver lining in this. But a tragedy, a real tragedy. Okay, let's get to some of your messages here. Yeah. Woo! That's a lot. I feel like we need to take a break after that. Let's take a break. We'll come back and get into some other news this morning. What an interesting day it's been already. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Did you find everything okay today?
Yes, I did. Do you take Google Pay?
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you.
See you again soon.
Tap into convenience. Have you added your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card, Visa debit card, or MasterCard credit cards to your Google Wallet yet? You can simply tap, pay, and go by using Google Pay from your phone. It's more convenience on the go. Tap into convenience now with CIBC Caribbean and Google Pay.
It's time to set sail on your biggest home projects yet. The spectacular summer sale is on from June 22nd to June 30th at Nassau Tile. Splash into savings with 20% off store-wide, plus deeper discounts on select items. Take 30% off select pool mosaics and 40% off ceramic outdoor tiles. Whether you're kicking off a brand new summer build or refreshing your space, visit our showroom on Dodgewell Street to lock in these incredible savings. For every space, for every style, think Nassau Tile.
Calling all Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute alumni. Join the BTVI Alumni Association for a meetup Saturday, June the 27th, 2026 at the Mall at Marathon from 12 to 3 p.m. Reconnect with fellow graduates, meet the alumni team, and learn about opportunities to get involved. Plus, the first 50 alumni will receive a special treat. That's the BTVI Alumni Meetup this Saturday, June the 27th from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Mall at Marathon. See you there.
Did you find everything okay today?
Yes, I did. Do you take Google Pay?
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you.
See you again soon.
Tap into convenience. Have you added your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card, Visa debit card, or MasterCard credit cards to your Google Wallet yet? You can simply tap, pay, and go by using Google Pay from your phone. It's more convenient. Tap into convenience now with CIBC Caribbean and Google Pay.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Guess who's back?
It's that time again for the 31st annual Michael Scuderi Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic.
Bring it on now, let's go.
Whether you're a player or a fan, you don't want to miss this one. The action starts July 13th at the Hope Center. Log on to peaceonthestreets.com and register. That's the Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic, where we shoot hoops instead of guns. Game time.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective we have to know that product. Yeah, that
Yes,
helps us to
yes.
relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road annual back to school sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, school neckties, PE shorts, and a variety of colors and school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's annual back to school sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's annual sale now. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Are we gonna sink or swim? Tide's getting high and we might go under. Thinking we should jump right in, 'cause if we don't now, then we'll always wonder. Feeling like a drop in the ocean. These days I've been swimming through a mix of emotions. But hey, even if the sun burns out, stars fall down, I'ma be there with you. Even when our heads get loud, thinking, are we gonna make it through? Tell me, are we gonna sink or swim? Tide's getting high, yeah, we might go under. Thinking we should jump right in, 'cause if we don't now, then we'll always wonder. Jumping right in, yeah, we jumping right in. Oh, yeah. Are we gonna sink or swim?
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. Okay, so let's get through your final messages on this and we're going to move on. Thank you for getting David Lockhart to phone in to your show. I feel a little bit better and I have a little bit of clarity hearing from the retired Chief Superintendent of Police, formerly responsible for the traffic unit. Yes, that's what happened. Thank you very much. And I appreciate him for agreeing to call in, too. We'll take this call and we're going to move on to other issues in the news today. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, Dwight. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, just, if I may, comment on two things. The parenting issue and the sex registry. Now, you know, the Crisis Center has not been the only voice who have been pushing for, you yourself, many others have been pushing for, including myself, for a proper sex registry. And the Crisis Center spoke about the cons of it. You know, when you're looking at policy, Dwight, when you're looking at legislation, common sense should dictate that you look at best practices, you look at the pros and the cons before you even make a decision. She spoke about the con, about the harassment and vigilante, etc., but I get that. But then what about the pros? You know, when you have a public, I mean, we say when America sneezes, the Bahamas catch a cold. Our closest ally, the United States, they have a public registry where anyone can go and search and do their own research. What's the problem? I don't have a fear of having having that type of system in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Okay, so Cleaver...
You know, when you're talking sex registry, it puts fear in the perpetrator. That's the pro. You know, it puts fear in them. It raises public awareness. It keeps more communities safe because you know who is who in your community.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why she would move to the con side of it and don't talk about the pro. You got to have to lay it out properly. And, you know, so we could make a better determination as to which direction we need to go in. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, in respect to parenting, I raised the issue on Aaron's show, and I find it interesting that the new social service minister is talking about it, which is good, Dwight. But they are confusing maintenance with parenting. They're not the same. Parenting, Dwight, that's when the parent, the biological parent or the guardian step in to provide guidance to these children, which is appropriate to their evolving capacity. See, parenting is maintenance, but maintenance isn't necessarily parenting. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And we focus on maintenance, but parenting is so indelible, Dwight. It not only affects the child that you're raising, it affects 2 generations after. So imagine if you were a bad parent. And this is what we are faced with. This is what we are challenging. This is what we are challenged with. The Task Force on Education in 2005, led by J. Barry Farrington, was clear. 205, Dwight. This is what they said. While the single mother household may have been the bedrock of our society in the 50s and 40s, today, in 2005, it poses a significant risk. Mm-hmm. But we are not adequately addressing it, and we see the uncontrollable. We see this high level of child abuse. We see all sorts of stuff. But then, you know, I listened to your excerpt, and I heard the lady talk about children need maintenance and stuff. That is not what we are talking about. If you are involved in your child's life, money will be a part of it. The child will need things. So why are we confusing? Why are we trying to confuse the wider population that, you know, when we don't know? I mean, if you don't know something, Dwight, I go and I do my research.
Yeah. Okay.
Too many people are commenting on things without doing proper research. And these people have influence.
Yeah.
And they shift government policy. But the time has long passed for us to give a approach to parenting. The Child Protection Act, which we led the charge in getting passed, this is what they said about parenting. Each, Article 6.1, I think it is, it states that each parent has responsibility. But in the case of a child born of wedlock separating again, the father will have to satisfy Article 6.1, I think it is, in terms of maintenance. Mm-hmm. Meaning, if that parent falls down and cannot supply that money, what they are after, the father's parental responsibility can be denied by a sitting judge or magistrate.
Yeah.
That just doesn't. And then what we sign on to internationally in terms of the Geneva Convention, which speaks to the rights of children, we states that parents would have shared common responsibility for raising the child.
Yeah, we got to do a whole show on this, Cleaver. I'll call you and we'll set up a time. We've got to discuss it. I want to get back to what you brought up. So the comments from the Bahamas Crisis Center about the sex offenders registry. So our Caitlin Babb writing about that today. Bahamas Crisis Center founder, Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson, saying that the center, which staunchly advocated for the establishment of a sex offenders registry, is not in favor of the register becoming public due to concerns regarding vigilantism. Right? Vigilantes.
Right. Vigilantes.
It's a tough word, man. Dean Patterson said yesterday that the center advocated for the registry because of the alarming rate of Bahamian children being abused, violated, and exploited in the country, and officials thought it was important for the government to adequately address the situation. She said that while she understands concerns for the register to become public, the center's position is that unlike larger countries that are able to safely and orderly facilitate sex registers, the Bahamas is at a disadvantage. She said, quote, the sexual offenders register was passed and is in place, but it's not a public register, and we are not in favor of it being a public register. I know the public would like to know who these sex offenders are, but we are not the United States, the United Kingdom, and the size where you can identify these offenders and have them someplace where they're not going to hurt children. What we have advocated is that the persons who need to know, who are obligated, who are directed to protect children, are the ones who have access to this register and who are responsible for the sex offenders who are released. That is the police, social services, and the prison. Those are the key people who should have this information and could deal with the information in a way that protects children, but also doesn't enable vigilantism, which has been the experience in other countries where the sex offender register was public. The police, social services, and the prison. Calls for the publicization. I'm having an issue with words today.
It's okay.
Of the sex registry were reignited after it was reported last week that a mother was seeking help after finding out that a convicted sex offender had been following her 10-year-old daughter home and leaving her sexually inappropriate messages and drawings on their backyard gate. What now? He also signed his name on the messages. Wow.
Okay.
The mother said she identified the predator after finding a news article that depicted his previous crimes against a minor. She said that she filed a police report. However, police said they could not follow up on her complaints as she did not catch the man in the act.
I'm
What?
sorry.
What?
We have to...
What now?
We have to get another officer.
Stay on the phone. Did you really say that?
What the heck?
The shift was changing. They just retired. I think that's why they said that. That doesn't make any sense.
What act does he need to be caught in?
My God.
Abduction?
Or worse. The story left residents outraged, demanding for the registry to be publicized to increase public awareness and safety. Dean Patterson said that while the center's view may not be a popular view to hold, there is a stark difference between other countries and the Bahamas. We find out every single day. She stated that the Bahamas' system calls for the public to have confidence in the system, which can sometimes be difficult. Sometimes. And difficult is putting it mildly.
Indeed.
She said, quote, calls for the public to have confidence in the system, and I don't know that the public is as confident or comfortable with the system protecting our children as it should be. And so it's a discussion that has to be ongoing, and we need to put all sides to it. But we have to be alarmed and vociferous about our refusal to accept or tolerate the violation of our children. I want parents of children to know that we are 100% in favor of the protection of children. Okay, so let's discuss this some more. Cleaver already got us started on this, but are you fine with that? The police, social services, and prison. We know that at least it seems in the U.S. in some parts you have to notify your neighbors,
right,
especially if they have children. Should that not be a requirement here? I mean, fine, you might not have a public register, but at least the people in the vicinity of your home or where you work, right? You shouldn't be working at a school if you. Right? You can't be the janitor. You cannot be the groundskeeper. At this school, these children the same age group as the people you violated in the past. Right? Shouldn't...
That's exactly how it should
Is that not reasonable?
It's reasonable, yeah.
You live next door to a preschool. You live next door to somebody with 5 little children. They should know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No? Let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Do you agree with what the Bahamas Crisis Center is saying, caller? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good
morning,
morning.
Chester.
Good morning.
I disagree because, Dwight, as you listed, the persons that need to know, they call out these public names, but they forgot parents and family and even older siblings that may be in charge of your younger siblings and know that someone in the area is a threat. Like you said, it stopped short where they tried to explain, all of those persons, what we, and they should be responsible enough. And if they want to issue a public registry, then they should add to it that before anybody take out vigilante acts against any person, that they should first at least call the police station or report it. You see what I'm saying? But the person ought to be outed by there being a public registry like Cleaver has been arguing for and advocating for. That's my contribution.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. What say you? Hi, good morning. You're on. Hi, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Hi.
I've sat back and I've listened to some of the report, but what is astonishing to me is that the Sandra Dean Patterson at the Crisis Center. I mean, Dwight, this is something so critical to the well-being of our society. We in the Bahamas over the past several years and last several years in particular, we have more cases of child abuse, sexual molestation, and all the rest. And we are trying to hide the perpetrator in the sense that you are not you're not in favor of a registry of the act that is already passed being made public. Really? And you in charge of the crisis center? What kind of Bahamas we living in? Huh? Please. You every day, Dwight, I listen to you just about every day. There's some perpetrator of sex against minors in this country. And we reach the point where we don't want this act to be made public. Are we serious as a country? How can this prevent these things from happening? You're going to continue every morning you get up in the morning. You struggle with having to say all of these things on there. Where a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 9-year-old being sexually molested by adult or somebody left in trust. And this is the end result from the crisis center. Are we serious as a nation? Listen, man, we need to insist on legislation apart from that act itself. We need the public pressure must be made to bear.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate the passion. Yeah. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be something, maybe not, I don't know, that you could just Google and find out. But like I said, the people who live and work with you should know this. Who live near you should know this. I mean, that is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Potentially. But it's really tricky. Yeah, but are we buying what she's saying about the size of the country and that people will want to, with nothing to do, will try to attack you?
Seems to make sense to me.
That part. But is that a good enough reason not to have a public register?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen it occur.
There are plenty of people who've been attacked, molested by somebody who has been released for similar crimes. And obviously they didn't know. Almost every week we have a story about somebody who's reoffending. We're doing something wrong. If that were me or somebody I know, I'm coming for all the lawyers involved. I'm suing everybody. No, this guy was only serving 8 years for what he did to that kid, and now he's out and he did it to my kid. Everybody's going down. It's not going to work. But let's hear from you. What do you say, caller?
Hi, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. I don't disagree with the caller before me. However, I have to say Dr. Patterson has always had a heart with victims of sexual violence. So I know she's not at all trying to hurt or harm these people. But unfortunately, a part of the cloak that predators do rely on is silence, and no one finding out about their activities. So, yes, making it public would deter, hopefully, anyone who is thinking about doing such a horrific act, especially against children or vulnerable people. So I do think she has a point in terms of you don't want to incite an eye for an eye type of activity within our population that is already clearly struggling with anger issues. But to say that we should have only certain folks have access to this information, like you said, I think helps these criminals. In a weird way, you're aiding and abetting. Now, we do fall down on helping these victims as well. In the States, there's a victim advocacy attachment to the police that helps folks who go through sexual assault, which I think we lack here. And yes, there are parties in our society that should be monitoring this sex registry, but we have problems monitoring people who are out on bail with devices attached to them. So unless you're going to put more money and funds or have a group that is going to directly and consistently look at these things to, like you said, inform people who they may come into close contact with, then we do have a problem. So unless they're going to address that in a proper fashion, unfortunately, we may see more and more of these cases because it's becoming, unfortunately, we're becoming desensitized and it's becoming a norm. Especially where teenagers are involved and people are saying that they give consent.
Right.
There's no consent a teenager or someone underage can give. So that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your call.
Yes,
thank you. Let's take this final call, and we got a couple messages to get to, and there's one final story we want to get through. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. The lady, she made some excellent points, Dwight. Here's the question. You have a child, right? And there's a predator out there that you don't know about, right? What's supposed to be the most protecting? The innocent child who doesn't know there's a predator, or the predator who knows there's an innocent child? Which one we have to protect, right? Because it can't be us trying to protect the predator who knows that's an innocent child, right? And not the innocent child who doesn't have no awareness that there's a predator in their midst. You know, that ain't waking, man. That's off balance. But in the Bahamas, criminals are protected. It's our second number one industry in the Bahamas. And what we just do, we just try to make sure, I'm just sarcastically, we just try to make sure that we always have potential criminal elements out there, because if that was not the case, or if the crisis center is not the create crisis, right, then the people them we should be seeing, we should be hearing different conversation when we relate to the innocent and the guilty, because we are moving in the Bahamas right now where the innocent suffered for the guilty, and the guilties are the pedophiles who we don't know that they can't be rehabilitated. Crisis center. There's no rehabilitation success for those type of individuals. The only thing we could do to protect the innocent, because the innocent is the one who need to be protected, not the perpetrator. Right? You guys have a nice
Thank
day.
you very much. These messages, this person says here, what's the point of the registry if no one can be privy to the information? Well, not no one. It's just not everyone. That's what it's saying. Will those who need to know take the responsibility of keeping those people from reoffending? And how exactly will they do that? The question to ask is, do we sacrifice the future of our country through the abuse and or death of our children out of fear that exposing predators could lead to a result that might make us look bad. Who's us?
Huh? Make us look bad.
Who's the us? Huh?
As someone texted me, the first instance of vigilantism, the judges won't put names on the register after that. So it makes sense, right? They have to protect life still, no matter who that life is, right?
Keeping the registry a secret is why predators feel empowered to offend again. They know their identities are protected and their future victims are clueless. If people want to compromise to prevent vigilantism, I cannot say this word.
Vigilantism.
Vigilantism, then allow persons to formally request to know whether or not a person is on the registry and that they are on a lifetime parole and prevent them from having any job where children are potentially present. Yeah. Okay, sure. I agree with Dr. Patterson. Bahamians have hair triggers, and there are so many issues to trigger us, including prolonged marijuana use. How do you get that in there? And lousy governance. Wow. Do you remember the report of an attempted child abduction with neighbors forming a mob, showing up at a sex offender's house with household tools, and the man having to run for his life, then taken into police custody for his own safety? It turned out that he was not the perpetrator in that incident. I don't even think the incident happened, but that was, yeah. The register should be made public. That's a text. I commented earlier on the matter, but thanks to Laura. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we got to that. If the police can keep track of the movements of the individual on their release from prison to ensure that they do not reside near schools and residences that children occupy, then the crisis center's recommendation can be considered. Yeah, you think that's happening? You think that's happening? I guarantee you that's not happening. No. And people move a lot. People move in next door that weren't there when they first were placed on the register, and then it wasn't updated. We didn't know that 7 children now are here. Yeah. A lack of knowledge protects the predator at the risk of all children. This is beyond insanity. And this person said, oh, no.
Okay. So, I mean, do we think vigilantism?
See, which one is it? Vigilantism.
Is vigilantism.
Yeah.
That's
hard to say than vigilantism.
Yeah, because vigilante is the word.
Right.
Vigilantism.
How about that?
Okay, yeah, that. This is a clear and present danger for people, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, do we think that we should just mete out street justice on people?
Of course not. We can. No.
I mean, there's the question.
That's what we say. And of course not. While you ponder that, this quick story, date set for incest appeal. A hearing date has been set for the appeal of a grandfather who was sentenced to 35 years for molesting his own granddaughter over a 5-year period. The man, identified by the initials KR, will challenge his conviction on October 20th. The jury accepted that the man began molesting his own granddaughter at the age of 12 in 2019 and continued molesting her until 2024. He was convicted of 20 counts of incest and 1 count of indecent assault. He was sentenced to 35 years for incest and was ordered to serve a 5-year sentence for incest at the same time. He was sentenced to 35 years for incest and was ordered to serve a 5-year sentence for incest at the same time. What does that mean? He'll be represented by a public defender.
How many counts of incest?
20.
20 counts of incest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
But he's appealing it. Hopefully that'll be a very short case.
Yeah.
But everybody's entitled to appeal, so yeah, sure. Great stuff.
Imagine.
Can they add on more time?
Maybe.
Hopefully. We got to go to the.
Found another incest.
It's disgraceful. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with every day.
It happens a lot, apparently.
Every day. We got to go to the news. When we come back, Morning Blend Business, we're talking about performance management in our monthly HR series. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Thinking we should jump right in, 'cause if we don't now, then we'll always like a drop in the ocean. These days I've been swimming through a mix of emotions. But hey, even if the sun burns out, stars fall down, I'ma be there with you. Even when our heads get loud, thinking about how we gon' make it through. Tell me, are we gonna sink or swim? Tide's getting high, yeah, we might go.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. Technology, our online and mobile banking app, offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards, and it's a special Wednesday edition of our HR series, usually every third Friday each month, but we're doing it today, and Ahmad Rashad Thompson is joining us. Good morning, Ahmad. Great to have you with us as always.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, so the topic today is performance management. Performance management. Explain to us what exactly we're talking about here.
So, first of all, let's just say why we're talking about it now. This is the middle of the year, and some companies are about to end a fiscal year. Some companies are about to begin a fiscal year. Some companies are right smack dab in the middle of when they would review performance. Other companies are in a phase of their development where they are going to be onboarding new employees. All of these things affect the performance management cycle and the development of a team member while on staff. So, what is performance management in its most basic form? It is an ongoing process in which managers or leaders and employees regularly communicate, not once in a while, not only when this is due, not once HR has sent the final reminder, but regularly communicate to assess and review job responsibilities, expectations, performance, and development strategies. The goal is to empower employees, not get them back, not capture them, not lambaste them, not demean them, not blindly reward them, but to empower employees to perform at their best, align their efforts with the organization's strategic objectives, and create a positive and fulfilling work environment for everyone. I want you listening to say that word with me, for everyone. Not just the
For
people you
everyone.
favor, or the ones you like, or the ones that do what you say, or the ones that come just like you. We're talking about every employee that you have the privilege of leading in your organization.
Okay, all right. So, how should this be done? What form should it take?
In the sense that performance management should never be a one-time act. Every good leader is developing their team, giving them insight, giving them review points, giving them feedback throughout the course of any fiscal year. Okay? Most leaders, I mean, not say most, some organizations make the mistake of treating this as some sort of one-time event where the email comes out, it's due now, let me quickly get it over with, or avoid it as long as I can. And I have one conversation throughout the course of the year, and so my employee is caught off guard. When a person does not have fact to go by, they make up their own. And if an employee is going throughout the course of a year thinking, feeling, and being reassured in some way that all is well, they believe all is well. Of reckoning when this report is due, when this assessment needs to be completed, and this employee is faced with things that are counterintuitive to what their facts are, you have all hell to pay.
Wow. Okay. So now there are places that are doing these things mid-year, twice a year, 3 times a year, but it just seems like nothing's being done with the information.
Yeah.
Like nothing's changed. No adjustment in salary. No adjustment to the stuff I complained about. No adjustment to the thing. What should employees make when that's the case?
Okay, so you just raised 3 different points that don't belong in any of them belong in performance management discussion.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Right. We're talking more along the lines of employee engagement survey. And gave you feedback on a particular matter, and nothing has been done with that. Right? Now, if we take that same example and put it in the perspective of performance management, let's say Dwight is my leader, and I said to him, hey, Dwight, I really want some opportunity to sharpen my skills on field reporting. And so I would like to be partnered with one of our better field reporters. I can go out and learn that skill. Dwight committed to me that I'd be partnered with John Brown to go on the road on certain stories, right? That happened in January. It's now June, and I've not been on the road with John yet. So in that moment, I can say to my leader, Dwight, we had a discussion in January when we had our first touch point, and you said that I'd be given an opportunity to go out with John at least twice this quarter. It's now the third quarter, or second quarter rather, and nothing has happened yet. When can I expect to have that done, right?
Okay.
So if we use that example and put it in the perspective of performance management, the employee and the leader both have an opportunity now to discuss what we agreed to or had committed to prior to. For instance, let's say Dwight challenged me as my leader and said, Ahmad, I really want you to become or to dive deeper into this field reporting aspect of your fund. I would like to go with John. Or there's a course that I saw at so-and-so university online. It's offered once every 6 weeks. I'd like you to join that course. We'll even pay for you to join. All we need you to do is enroll. Right? That happened in January. It's now June. You can say to Ahmad, we had a discussion in January about your interest in being a field reporter, and there was a course we wanted you to take. In order for you to begin that journey, you have not yet taken it. I have not been advised of your enrollment, what's going on. Right? The trouble, though, is that some organizations leave that conversation to the very last minute, and because there's never been a dialogue in the interim, I'm now held accountable, which I should be, rightfully so, to not having been to not enroll in the class and not to be able to complete it. But if we're having dialogue and conversation throughout the course of the year, Dwight, there are opportunities for you to say, Ahmad, we spoke 4 weeks ago, I haven't seen your enrollment yet, what's going on? Right? But when you leave that conversation for the very last moment, you're causing more harm than an organization.
Wow. Okay, so you said for every employee with this. So even the people on the I don't want to offend anybody. The lowest line that people just like, yeah. Hmm.
Every employee, if they receive a pay slip, they're supposed to receive a review.
Mm-hmm.
The only persons that should not be receiving a review from you, from a formal perspective, is anybody on a contract. And contract simply means more of like a consulting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could still have contract employees that receive some variation or review or feedback in their journey with you. It's just that our contract has a finite time. So you know that it expires on so and so date. But if we're going to talk about an active employee who receives benefits from you, who receives salary from you, whose NIB you're paying, they should be receiving regular reviews from you as their leader on a regular basis. Now, regular can vary from organization to organization, but best practice wise, Dwight, there should not be any less than 4 conversations a year, any less.
4
when it comes to performance review, minimum 4, and that's happening within each quarter. That's happening. That's only if you want to do the bare minimum. You just want to say you've had 4 conversations, but that continuous feedback should be happening regularly, weekly touch-ins, bi-monthly meetings, monthly sessions with your team members, so they know in a quarter if we meet, Dwight, you and I meet 3 times a quarter, 4 times a quarter. You know how better I can be than I was at the beginning of that quarter?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm getting deliberate feedback from my leader, not great job, Ahmad, good job on what, Dwight? What did I do well this month?
Mm.
What areas specifically did I excel in? Which areas am I specifically not doing my best in?
Mm-hmm.
What tools can you provide to help me to get there? Which level of commitment do I need to make to increase my chances of becoming a top performer, right? In the organization, you have to understand that regular and continuous feedback is important to both the growth and development of the employee, but also the sustainability of the environment and the organization itself.
Wow. So if we have a WhatsApp group or Teams and you're putting feedback in there all the time, is that acceptable or is that a no-no?
Rubbish. Teams group or Teams chat? First of all, the only way that's happening regularly is if you live in Jibim and I live in Jibim, I live in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
If we work in the same building, get up from your desk and come find me or find me, come to yours. What you doing? What you mean Teams? A conversation, hey, Dwight, don't forget we're supposed to talk about blah, 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 and Teams, sure. But my formal review, rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Get up and come connect with me. Now, in a global world, you may be leading somebody, Dwight, that does live in Africa, and that's fine. But that conversation can still be done on Teams with cameras on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Interesting.
And who does
wash your
this?
Hair, wash your teeth, wash your face, and come and let's talk.
And who does this typically? I guess it depends on the size of the organization.
You mean in terms of which roles?
Yeah, I mean HR, the manager.
No.
Who does
no. I'm happy you asked the question, Chester.
Mm-hmm.
HR is not responsible for your team's performance.
Mm.
If you are my leader, you are giving me that feedback. You are giving me the review. You are providing the data and the feedback to my performance over the course of any particular period of time. The only thing HR is doing is administering that process. Meaning, hey, Chester, don't forget reports are due by so-and-so date. Hey, Chester, here's some support for you to have your conversation with your team members. Hey, Chester, you're 2 days past due on your performance reviews. What's going on? Hey, Chester, the data reflects that your team is underperforming because of a lack of so-and-so. Or, hey, Chester, your team is doing exceptionally well at this point. Here's what we noticed. Or, hey, Chester, we see a grave discrepancy in the performance of your team across the board. You have 3 people on your team who are rated exceptional and 3 of them who are rated needs improvement. Can you please explain what's going on with the variance? Or, Chester, you gave Ahmad 5s all across the board, but you didn't give any explanation as to why. You didn't give any justification as to why Ahmad is receiving all of these 5s. Is it possible for Ahmad to receive the 5? Absolutely. Did you justify it? Apparently not.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so it's the leaders to have the conversation, not HRs.
Right.
And this needs to be done as a one-on-one.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
Now you can give departmental feedback to Dwight. That's not going to happen at a performance review meeting. It's going to happen at a regular touchpoint meeting with your team. Okay. Hey team, we're supposed to be at 50 articles for the year. We're only at 28. What's going on? Right? I want to take this time to commend John Brown, who continues to exceed his targets. He's supposed to have 28. He has 48. Great job, John. Right? John, would you mind sharing some of your success? How do you manage to do this? But you're not going to give my feedback to me in a group setting with other persons involved.
Yeah.
That's a private, and I want to even say consecrated moment where you and I should have a closed door meeting At a particular time, we are both aware of that time in advance. It's not like, hey, Ahmad, by the way, what you doing now? Come check me. Let me tell you something about your review. This is, hey, Ahmad, I would like to talk with you about your review, specifically about the review on June 30th. Are you available? I want to talk about from 10 to 12 or from 10 to 11. Are you available for that moment? It shouldn't be on the morning of, the evening of, you just remembered and you're pulling me inside the room. That should be planned and well thought out. There should have been dialogue before this discussion is going to happen. There should be forms filled out what happened. I had a chance to review the data you put into my review, and you had a chance to review the data I put into my review before we had the actual conversation and dialogue.
Okay, so I was going to ask, should there be a questionnaire? Should there be a report? Or can it just be a conversation?
No. There's usually, best practice again, a formal document that I would have either filled out or have been given to fill out. So that looks like what best practice is now, Dwight. The assessee, so me, the employee, would fill out the report first. I give you data on information as to why I believe I'm rating myself as this. So there's a self-assessment done before I give it to my leader. I assess my performance over the course of any period of time, whether that's the quarter or the year, and I'm giving you feedback and insight as to why I believe I'm deserving of this assessment, of this score. That information is sent to my leader. My leader then goes and reviews my assessment, provides his or her assessment to mine. That assessment can either be supportive of what I submitted, or it can be the opposite of what I submitted, or there may be some back and forth. I might give myself a 4, you may give me a 3. You have the justify, I have the justify, right? Once we get that review, I have a chance to review it, and then we have that meeting in person. Hey, Ahmad, I saw that you gave yourself a 4 in the area of, let's say, tardiness. I rated you a 3. Let's discuss the variance there, right? The record reflects you've been late 40 times this year. Here's the report that I pulled. Oh, well, I called you each time I was going to be late. Yeah, but that still doesn't negate the fact that you were late, right? That's a trivial issue, but it's one that plagues many organizations regularly, especially when there's never been a conversation before this report or before this review about that tardiness. You saw me come late 40 individual times. You say nothing to me all year?
Wow, yeah.
And so in a big organization, let's say just use a hotel for instance. You have some line staff, so somebody who works in a bar. Then you have the bar manager. Then you have the food and beverage supervisor, and then you have the food and beverage manager, and all these hierarchical positions.
Sure.
So who does reviews of whom?
Those bar boys, those bar backs, those bartenders are likely going to be reviewed by their bar manager. Right?
Okay, right.
It's going to be a food and beverage manager that may have oversight over that bar. He will then review the manager or the supervisors in that bar. He or she. Then there's going to be a food and beverage director. That food and beverage director will review the food and beverage manager or managers.
Okay.
The food and beverage director may be reviewed by the hotel manager. The hotel manager is going to be reviewed by the general manager.
Gotcha.
The general manager is going to be reviewed by the owners or the leaders that he or she reports to at a global level, at the international level, whatever the case may be. Everybody has a review.
And that should happen 4 times a year.
At minimum.
Wow.
And I'm saying minimum because if you're only talking to your employees 4 times a year, they losing and you losing too. You see them every day. Talk to them. Engage them. Hey, Ahmad, I saw that yesterday you gave an excellent review of your so-and-so. That's really what I'm looking forward to when I see so-and-so and so. Or, hey, Ahmad, I noticed that yesterday your report came in, 3 days late. Is there a reason for that? What's going on? Versus waiting for the quarter to end and telling me I submitted a report for this quarter. Okay, we can have a conversation about that beforehand. Does it negate the fact that I was late? No. But it doesn't make sense to wait until the moment it's due, or the moment the report is due, rather, to say it to my face. You could tell me that months ago.
Yeah. If we can localize it, what changes do you see when you do performance reviews regularly? I don't know if you could, or what statistics say globally. Yeah.
The benefit of doing the review regularly is that you give the employee an opportunity to correct the behavior before it's too late. Right? If you tell me today that it was bad all year long, I can't correct it today. I'm going to get a score today. But if you say to me 4 weeks ago, 5 months ago, hey, Ahmad, listen, man, you're on track to receive so-and-so if we don't see a change in behavior or change in performance on area B. Right? And here's how you change that behavior or that performance. We're looking for the report to be in by the 5th in each month. You consistently submitted it on the 21st each month for the last 3 cycles of reporting being due. That's not going to cause you to do well in your performance. In this area of your weight, of your performance, if you want to get a bonus next year or whatever the reward is for your performance, you want to get ahead of that sooner than later. For instance, when I worked in banking, there was a particular area when I was the loan officer that I did not value or place value on as an officer. That was an active choice I made. My supervisor came to me and she said, Ahmad, you are an overachiever, but you're actively avoiding one particular area of your performance and it's going to cost you your overachievement status. I'm like, what you talking about? She said, you believe because you're overcompensating in area 1, it's going to relieve you in area 2. Both of these carry the same amount of weight. And if you don't fix area 2 now, you're going to risk getting a needs improvement performance review because they carry the same amount of weight. You putting your efforts into one doesn't going to negate the other one. You have to give out both the same attention to both areas. I was not a needs improvement type of employee, so I had to fix that by choice. Or I could not have, and I could argue all I want to argue about how I did so well in area A, but you didn't do well in area 2, so it carries the same amount of weight, and it's going to affect your score. She came to me in advance of my review to let me know you're on the wrong track. Get it together, or wish you did, right? Now, she asked me questions about that. Why are you avoiding this area? What's the issue? I just didn't like the product I was selling. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think Bahamians would do well with the product, so I wasn't selling it. But when I recognized that, wait a minute, this could affect me, I didn't force sell it, but I became more aware of how the product could affect the right type of customer. And then I changed my approach to selling it thereafter.
Okay. All right. So infrequently doing the performance reviews, the management is one factor, but what are some other factors that can affect the process, the integrity of the process?
So let's just say that I favor Dwight and I don't favor Chester as much. And because Dwight is a favorite of mine, I unfairly review him on the positive side, right? I make excuses for Dwight's underperformance wherever it exists. I use terms like he had a rough month or he had a rough year. Sounds like me, acts like me, I give him undue favor. Chester, equally as hardworking, equally as persistent and doing well, somehow rubs me the wrong way. Right? Chester's too vocal in meetings. He always has something to say. Chester never won't go with the flow. He just he always on antagonist. What about this? What about that? So I then take that perception of Chester and I put it into his review. I unduly judge Chester harder than I judge or rate Dwight. I over-justify for Chester. I under-justify for Dwight. Right? So I give him a 5 or a 4 with no clear justification as to why. I give Chester a 2 or a 3 and make up all kind of reasons as to why he don't deserve the 4 out of 5. Right? And those reasons are usually can sometimes be very frugal, minuscule, not like just moot points, right? Additionally, there are biases that come along in reviews, Dwight. We are all biased in some way, no matter what we try to do. No matter how evolved we are as thinkers and leaders, we are always going to demonstrate some employees. And I've been studying this concept called empathy bias over the course of the last few weeks. And it simply means that, again, I place more empathy with persons who lead like me, who have a similar philosophy to leadership or development like me. The person who comes in early and leaves late just like me. The person who always just lets things slide just like me. The person who I recognize is having a hard time dealing with challenging staff, but I have the same issues where I do the same thing. So I give empathy to the wrong reason or to the wrong cause, and I skew the ratings across my team, right? And so when you don't give the opportunity for persons to receive true and honest feedback, clear, factual feedback, you cause more harm than good in your organizations.
Wow. So should employees not talk about the reviews, the discussions they've had with the employer or the manager? Is that detrimental? Can that cause some problems?
No. Say that again. What you mean? Like,
should they discuss it amongst themselves? Like, oh, he gave me the review saying this. I got a 5 instead of a 7. Can that be detrimental if they talk to each other about that?
Yeah, I think that those conversations are to be, not I think, the best practice is that they should be confidential. Now, a leader should not disclose what ratings other employees got. The employee is up to them if they wish to, but they shouldn't either, right? Because every review is different. Every review is supposed to be individualized. And there are moments when a person could be given a score that you can't see why they got it, right? but the dialogue, the work that they've been doing, those continuous feedback sessions over the course of the year can justify and give reason for that particular score they receive. Now, there are moments when employees take it upon themselves to disclose information, and that's on them. But the leader should be radically reminding team members, and so should HR, that this process is meant to be confidential and really sacred. It shouldn't be broadcasted across the organization. You can't control what employees decide to do, but you want to recommend to them they shouldn't be disclosing it, at any for any flippant reason. Now, there are moments when leaders at the executive level at Manchester, even though that bar manager reviewed those bartenders, the food and beverage director will still be privy to what that review was like, what the review final scores were. And he or she may challenge the manager as well. Listen, I saw, Chester, that you gave Ahmad a 4 in area so-and-so, but I have specific examples that I've talked to you about that contradict that review score. Why did you still land on 4? Give me some information. We call it a calibration period, where you really discuss every score of every individual in the organization to really determine, are we being fair across the board? Are we being fair with our assessments? Are we being fair with our boards? Are we being fair of our reviews, right? And so even though I may not be your direct leader, as your leader's leader, I should have insight, not necessarily control, but insight as to how you arrive at particular scores to ensure that you're not causing more harm and good in your organization or in your department.
I was going to ask how you counteract that empathy bias, but I think you answered it there just now. But that would require that the other leaders be paying attention to the employees 100%. As well.
And that's where that feedback continuously comes in. If I'm a food and beverage director, Chester, I am aware in some way of what's happening. I see positive reviews coming in. I see when Ahmad does A and when John does B. I don't need to directly engage John Ahmad, but I can directly engage John Ahmad's leader. And I can say, hey, I need you to be aware that A, B, and C is what I have witnessed. What's your plan to correct that? Have you had a conversation with John on this matter? What's going on with so-and-so? If I'm having direct and honest feedback with my leader, with the leader who I supervise regularly, I'm aware of some of the challenges he or she is facing as well. Because in my development conversation with him, it's where can I support you? What challenges are you currently facing that you didn't expect to face? What issues are you facing with your employees or your team members or the system? So I can help you to get through those challenges, because at the end of the day, you're still going to be assessed by way of how they perform.
Okay. We are talking with Ahmad Rashad Thompson in our HR series. We're talking about performance management. We got text messages coming in. You can call 236232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, Chester and Ahmad Rashad, the best. Yeah, I just have a question, and I just want to show Ahmad Rashad. I don't know if anybody's out there in the working field, since he's talking about food and beverage in the hotel industry, and I was in the hotel industry for a while. I worked I started as a front desk clerk, I went into accountants, and then I went into engineering. So you see how diverse I was. So I was always science-driven. And so for me, I just want Ahmad Rashad to respond to this. I've been in engineering. You know, I had most of my bosses, they like me, right? But their scheme as a new boss, he always had something against me. But what happened was, I was always a reader, and so I would have, when I write my logs, because I was reading the logbook, and so they wouldn't adhere to it and follow me and believe me. And so because there was animosity between me and a particular boss, some things that I actually watched him work on that I know he didn't know what he was doing. And so it offended me in the fact that what he was doing was affecting the health of other employees as far as the boiler smoking, and then it would be like the total dissolved solids with the condensed water coming in from the cooling tower. And we had certain problems, and so I wrote a logbook one night, and I told them what the total dissolved solids was, and nobody listened to it, and so the chillers, the air conditioning system ended up shutting down. And so there was many other instances and problems in which I saw, but they would never give you credence for it. Also, they would always, even as when I went to Atlantis, I gave advice as to what I saw as relates to the piping on the new Cleveland Brooks boiler system. And people always would attack you and say, you think you know this and you know that. But actually, the hotel ended up suffering because not listening to a line staff. As I was only a shift engineer. And so in instances like that kind of turned me off from, well, Ms. Karen Myers, she loved me. It kind of turned me off from working. I mean, I'm self-employed now, still paranoid, but in instances like that, it kind of keep me in industries. and from really actually working for people. I work for some other places, going around fixing machines. I went to Club Med one day. There was a guy that I met working at BFS. He was there for a while. He wasn't there one day, and so me and him went to fix a machine one time, and he was there. And I told him that this particular switch was applicable to 3 different voltages, and so he didn't understand the wiring. He didn't. He just left it there, whatever it was. But they had a problem with it subsequently. I went there and fixed the machine, and he was, "Oh, you went there and fixed the machine. What is the problem?" And the boss gave good credence to me and talked about, and it's all breed jealousy. What are you doing in incidents like that? It's these things like these that actually. But engineering is kind of different from food and beverage. It actually requires input from everybody and a consensus. So I just got turned off from working because, people were in competition and people's lives at stake. But like I said, the whole hotel system, air conditioning system shut down because they didn't believe what I had written. And then, Jerome saw old man said, but he was actually my friend. He was a cool boss. So, but I had written it, but nobody had heard it, and then the hotel actually suffered. So I just hung up and listened. I don't want to work for anybody.
Well, Ahmad?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are moments when, I want you to remember this forever, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to the show today. Your leader and your employees are humans. And where there's humans involved, there are flaws you can expect. Everybody doesn't get everything right.
Wow.
But if it is that you find yourself in an environment where people are actively victimizing you, showing you their human side more than their evolved side, they're trying their best to keep you bound or whatever, you have to make an active decision as to whether you want to be there or not, right? I don't encourage anyone to remain in the situation and really just is volatile and cantankerous, right? You should be able to vocalize your concern to someone in your organization to say, I really believe I'm being treated unfairly here, or I don't see the justification for this score or for the situation. And if you really can't, you have to evaluate, is that the right place for you to be, right? Ultimately, the choice you made to go back to work tomorrow is yours. But you have to be willing and advocate for the things that need to be advocated for. And when you realize that nobody's working with you or trying to hear you out, then also, there has to be a level of personal responsibility and accountability attached to anything you're going to do first or next. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing right or wrong in this moment? I always tell my clients, when you find yourself in a situation, remember that you were there as well. You can't always cast blame on the persons around you. What have you done to make this better or worse?
Wow.
What are you actively doing to work on this matter or not? And then you have a conversation as you continue to move forward.
All right, one more call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you all, gentlemen?
Doing well.
Great. When I became a manager for this organization, and we call it appraisal. When I have to do appraisal on my staff, we did once a month. And when I do the appraisal, I call them in the office, because I was upstairs, sat them down, and they agree, they sign off on it. But I don't know if I was right or wrong with this. I never wrote bad on anyone. All my appraisal were favorable to my staff. And once a month, every Thursday, the director of accounts and all managers of department sit around the table, and he bring in his staff, and he will say, at this date, at last year, finance was up, finance this year is down. And then we have to explain to the manager, to the CEO, it down this day.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But he used to wait the report. I used to wait appraisal. And I read good on everybody. Because you got to show them that anyhow. That's the procedures. They sign it, and I take it up to the CEO. Thank you all, gentlemen.
Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Once a month is interesting, Ahmad.
It is interesting. I really love quiet wisdom. I love sound wisdom. Now, Appraisal report 6.5. The 6.5 doesn't same thing, sir. So thank you for bringing that context to our conversation. It is an appraisal. It is a report. It is a performance management system. All of those things are intertwined, interchangeable in terms of the terminology. Now, the once a month cadence is not necessarily the standard set across all organizations. It could be that continuous feedback that I was talking about, though, Dwight. So maybe in today's world, it's not the performance review every month, but it's a conversation about what we discussed last in your performance journey, right? That once a month thing is going to really be helpful. Having a harder time or who's really doing well. Either way, that person has a chance to get better or to improve where they were falling behind in previous discussions.
Does
Once
it
a month,
depend on the type of job, the type of work that you're doing? Maybe that might make it.
I think that's a
Yeah.
variable to consider. But no matter what, everybody needs to know how they're doing on any given day, right? It could be a driver in a food organization. It could be the CFO of an organization. It doesn't matter what the role is. I do believe that you should be giving feedback to your employees regularly so they can understand how they're going to be assessed and what they're going to be assessed on.
Yeah. And how
Now,
much of a
point
role should customer feedback play on your performance?
Customer feedback should
Review.
play a role in organizational development, not my individual performance.
What I mean, they're
Now-
making major complaints against you about you.
Now, say for instance, though, you do have like an NPS score, Net Promoter Score, or you have opportunities for your clients to send in direct feedback and they name people,
Yeah.
right? Because we do that to recognize employees. So maybe at the same time, we can also say, well, Ahmad, listen, we received 4 letters of complaint in the last quarter about your performance, and specifically in area A, B, or C. This has to be corrected. We have to fix this because the complaint is that your attitude is so and so, or that your other colleagues is so and so. Those are coachable moments that can be corrected over time.
Okay.
To bring that data to me on the day of my performance review it's just not right. If I had never been given an opportunity to see that data before today, I can't fix it before today.
Oh,
But if you
wow.
share with me letter 1, letter 2, letter 3, and then you have corrective action to go along with these letters that I've been receiving, I now know the journey that I'm on as an employee.
Okay, that's fair.
A big part of this journey on performance management process, Dwight, because it is a process, is that you have to set goals and expectation, but everything should be lying in a performance management policy. What is our organization's policy regarding performance management? Right?
Interesting.
That
Wow.
policy is the thing that governs the way any leader, any employee acts, behaves, and delivers in a performance management cycle.
Okay. All right.
Right?
So
I
you.
do want to mention something the gentleman said, though, please, Dwight, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
Sure.
He said that I give everybody a favorable report.
I
Right?
was wondering about that.
Now, so I hear your heart. But that ain't good. Because now what happens when the person who was really underperforming felt well because they got a good report, but they really weren't performing, and you're causing now problems in your organization because the person who really is doing well, who really is performing, is the person who's not. And employees know who is and who isn't. And to your point, Dwight, when the employees go now talk their business and they realize, wait, now Dwight get 4 and I get 4 too, well, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Dwight is thinking, hold on, are they ever mad for this? But never to work. He always did this, he always do the next. How we getting the 4? So you disenfranchise Dwight while you encourage falsely Ahmad.
Yeah. Wow. So you'd mentioned this earlier that this is not about getting back at the employees. So this texture says, so when is a good time to get back at employees?
What? What a time.
Wow.
Lady or gentleman, seek the Lord. He needs he wants you in your kingdom. Come on, man. This ain't that. This ain't primary school. This ain't tit for tat, penny for fat. This is an evolved organization who is doing its best to ensure the team members that they serve as leaders have the tools they need to succeed in the organization, to succeed in their job function, to succeed on the targets that have been set. And you as a leader also want the same thing. Do you want your leader? Like, just think about it. I said earlier, we're all human beings, and we all have feelings about the workplaces that we work to. We need to create environments where people can express themselves, can share, can make mistakes, can have fumbles, but also enjoy success and reward at the same time.
Wow. All right. So your final words of advice to everybody when it comes to these types of assessments, performance management in general.
I would say, here, I want you to focus on the following key elements of a performance review process. There should be a performance management policy that your organization is working by way of. This is the thing that guides us, and every leader is governed by the same performance management policy, not a practice, not an idea of that policy, but the actual policy. Then you have to set goals and expectations across your team, across the organization. People have to know what they're working toward. They have to understand what good looks like. They have to be able to idealize that, but also actualize it at the same time. Then there's progress monitoring. You're monitoring the progress of your team. This is not micromanagement. This is holding me accountable to the goal we set and expectations you were trying to meet over the course of our fiscal term or year. Then there's the performance appraisal process, which the gentleman just referenced on the call just now. The appraisal process is the actual moment when you sit with me and you have the actual conversation about my performance over this period of time. Then you're going to providing the continuous feedback, regularly engaging me on my performance, on how I'm doing, on that project I just completed, on the deadline I just missed. All of that is conversation we're having over the course of time, regularly set throughout the organization and throughout the time that we're working together. Sometimes you have to have an employee development plan attached to this. If it is that Ahmad is continuously failing in area A or B, he may need to be placed on an employee development plan to get him to his next level. Plan. They are different. The performance improvement plan is because I'm performing poorly in a particular area. That can be both from a behavioral perspective or an actual technical perspective. The development plan comes in when you want to get me to be a field reporter, Dwight, if you go by our example earlier. So Ahmad, we're going to pair you with Chester. He's going to take you on the field with him 3 times a month. You're going to work on stories that are varied in scope, so on and so forth, right? We're going to have you do this for a period of 3 months. Chester will provide feedback to you and to us as well on your development. He is going to be monitoring your disposition, your countenance, how you show up, all of the things that you noted on. Reviewed on. He'll be doing the same thing. And then finally, the reward and recognition strategy. How do you reward and recognize persons who have met or exceeded expectations? What's your policy on that? Is there a bonus structure? Are reviews tied to performance? Do people get paid performed well last year? Are these things clearly identified in your performance review? Does an automatic exceptional or exceeds expectation review rate automatically translate into a promotion or an increase in salary or an increase in what's the word I want to use? Let's say a position. Maybe go from a grade 1 to a grade 2. What are the policies regarding these things? And ultimately, have a human conversation with human people.
Okay.
Engage people at a human level to help them understand where they're doing well, where there's room to improve, and what they can do to improve and keep doing better.
Yeah. So, Ahmad, we're out of time, but this text came in. I think we might need to do this for a whole show, maybe next month. This person says, I think I'd like to add to Ahmad's comments on performance management with the aspect of the organization. One challenge I've run into over the years is where my organization has not appropriately prepared leaders to sit in a management role. This has resulted in the leaders being so preoccupied with the day-to-day functions of the business that they cannot focus on the people management. The largest or equal largest part of the manager or leader's job is people management, unless of So I'd like your comments on that. So I think that's a whole show. It's challenging for the organization and for the individual who's the manager, I'm sure, and of course for the people they're managing. So let's do that next month. Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, that's a big one. So stay tuned for that every third Friday. That's when we'll go back to our regular schedule with our HR series with Ahmad Rashad Thompson. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate it, as always.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
On Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
It's time to set sail on your biggest home projects yet. The spectacular summer sale is on from June 22nd to June 30th at Nassau Tile. Splash into savings with 20% off store-wide, plus deeper discounts on select items. Take 30% off select pool mosaics and 40% off ceramic outdoor tiles. Whether you're kicking off a brand new summer build or refreshing your space, visit our showroom on Dodgewell Street to lock in these incredible savings. For every space, for every style, think Nassau Tile.
Time for your morning business report brought to you by C. The Bahamas Fisheries Licensing System allows individuals to obtain commercial and charter fishing licenses with little demonstration of competence or knowledge. That's according to Director of the National Fisheries Association, Paul Malis, who's calling for greater oversight and accountability within the sector. Malis making the remarks yesterday while on a panel at the launch of the Small Business Development Center's Blue Economy Accelerator program, arguing that while the accessibility of fishing licenses helps lower barriers to entry for Bahamians seeking to earn a living, the current system lacks safeguards to ensure license holders understand the laws and responsibilities that accompany commercial fishing operations. Well, that SBDC partnership with the Nature Conservancy is seeking to broaden Bahamian participation in the country's $1.2 billion blue economy through a new accelerator program aimed at helping small businesses enter the sector. Speaking at the launch of the Blue Economy Accelerator, SBDC Executive Director Samantha Roll said the initiative is designed to unlock opportunities in industries beyond the traditional fisheries sector. More on that in today's Guardian Business section. And the president of the United Public Transportation Company, Harrison Thompson, telling Guardian Business that fights between jitney drivers are a rare occurrence, as that viral video of a fight allegedly between two drivers on Prince Charles Drive recently got the attention of Transport Minister Leon Lundy. Moxie says that these incidents, mainly between the 21S and 15A drivers, are because of positioning or fighting for position on the road. Lundy told reporters on Monday that he's meeting with the Road Traffic Department to ensure the regulations and rules for jitney drivers are adhered to. You can read more on that story in today's Guardian Business section as well. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers. APD Limited moving 65 shares, closing at 50.50 unchanged. Consolidated Water up 13 cents, closing at 15 cents, closing at 12.87. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,237.32, up 0.27. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And as we wrap things up, a severe weather warning is in effect until 11:15 a.m. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Walker's Key and Grand Key in Abaco, and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for North Abaco and their adjacent water and keys. So that's in effect again until 11:15 this morning. Some of these showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, possible hail, and tornadic activity. Localized flooding also possible. All right, so that is it for us today. Chester, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
You got a birthday in between now and then, so happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Enjoy. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Tell me if you